asks, what is mindfulness? And this is a definition that struck me. It comes from a professor and a PhD researcher by the name of John Kabat-Zinn. And he's done a lot of work around mindfulness. And if you've heard of mindfulness-based stress reduction, he's the founder of that practice. And there is a boatload of information if you wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that. That's mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, it's also known as. And what this professor talks about is that mindfulness is focusing on something. So it's keeping your attention to the experience in the moment in an open and non-judgmental way. So this is our third week of coming together as a group, and I'm so thankful that you've come back. And what we've done up to this point is either focused on our breath or focused on words. And that's at the core of what it's about, is it's about focusing on something. So just a few minutes ago, one of the attendees was talking about focusing when walking in nature. That's fantastic. There's a boatload of trails in around the Vancouver area where we're mostly based out of. And I really enjoy going for walks and hikes in those trail systems and focusing on the sounds of the trees or the sounds of the birds or whatever sounds in nature that comes up. And that, in short, is what being mindful is all about, focusing on something. Another bit of feedback that we've received over the last couple of weeks is, how do you use mindfulness in everyday living? So I'd like to jump to that and give you a few things to consider. So everyday mindfulness is becoming more present or more aware of your surroundings. So going back to the hiking analogy, I could be hiking, focusing on the sounds of the birds, the sounds of the leaves, the sounds of my shoes hitting the earth beneath me. And then all of a sudden I hear what sounds like a bike. So I'm pulled away from being mindful, and that's okay, because in that situation you want to be safe. You want to make sure that you're also aware of your surroundings. Body awareness is another aspect of being mindful. Another attendee earlier spoke about body scanning, and that is a great way, noticing the sensations in your body, being mindful of what's happening in the body, because sometimes we carry tension in the body and we don't even realize it. We don't realize that, let's say you're having a conversation with somebody and you don't realize the impact of their words until all of a sudden you realize that there's this tightness in your shoulders. So that's something that I encourage you to pay attention to in the coming week, and we'll talk about that again next week. And then even being mindful in terms of listening. How often, when someone is talking to us, are we already formulating our response? So if we simply listen to what they are saying rather than formulating a response, that's being more mindful. And then another way, and there's lots of different ways that you can incorporate mindfulness into every day, but it could be around cooking. And, you know, when you're chopping your onion, actually just focusing on that onion. When you're reading a book, rather than your mind drawing to other things that you're thinking you need to do, just focusing on reading. And I also put sleeping in here because that was part of one of the bit of feedback is, what tips do you have to be around mindfulness, or can mindfulness help me with sleeping? And it can. We don't have a whole lot of time today to focus on that, but one of the ways, and we did this earlier in our time that we spent together, is just noticing your breath, focusing on the inhale, focusing on the exhale. That in and out movement will help you fall asleep. I encourage you to try that as well this week. So that's just a little bit around mindfulness, what it is. So it's focusing on one thing, and that's what we're going to do very shortly. But these are some ways that you can incorporate mindfulness every day. Okay, I want to make sure that we have enough time to practice, and this is where we're going to begin. So as we did last week, I want to make sure that you're comfortable. You can sit, you can stand, you can lie down, whatever posture you choose to take, do that. But before you go and either close off your video or close your eyes, I'd like you to take a look at what's on the screen right now. What quality would you like to cultivate? In other words, what would you like more of? And this is an opportunity for you to give yourself permission. Take up that space and give yourself what you need right now. And you may only need that quality, that sense of feeling within you for this very moment. Or maybe you're struggling with something in your personal life or at home or at work, and you need something to help you get through that. Whatever it is that you need right now. If you're unsure, if you're drawing a blank, generally speaking, this is what we would call an intention setting practice. Generally, something hits you in the gut and you're like, oh, this is what I need. That's what I want you to focus on. If you're unsure, I would encourage you to focus on this idea of being a little bit more patient. Patient with yourself, patient with others, patient with the changing environment that we are all facing these days. But pick whatever came to mind for you, and that's what we're going to focus on for these next few minutes. Okay, going to stop sharing that. So sitting tall, standing tall, lying down, whatever it is that you choose to do, you can have your video on or off. I will keep mine on. But one of the reasons why I say shutting the video off is helpful is that you can then really tune in a little bit more. You're not focused on looking at me or wondering what's going on. If you just shut it off, it's one less thing as a possible distraction. So video on or off. And whatever posture you've chosen to take, I'd like you to commit to that posture. So sitting tall, standing tall, or lying down. And this is a good time for you to close down your eyes. And I've mentioned it previously, but I'll mention it again that, of course, because we're online, there will be periods of silence, and that's okay. Just go with it. Go with the periods of silence. Because we're not in a group, we can't hear each other breathing, that sort of thing. So just go with it, and I will tell you when it's time to come out. So if you haven't already, you can close down your eyes. Relax your shoulder. You can do a quick body scan to see if there's any parts of you that you can relax just a little bit more. Notice your parts of the body that are connected to the seat beneath you or to the floor beneath you. The parts that naturally float away. Notice where your hands are placed. Just simply notice. Nothing needs to change. Let's shift this awareness to your breath. So nice and easy, in and out through the nose. And just notice where the breath is in your body. Does it rise and fall with ease? Maybe it's a little bit short and jagged. Wherever it is, it is. This is about cultivating that awareness and focusing on that one thing. Continuing with your breath, let's come to the intention that you set for yourself. What is it that you need more of? Allowing that quality, that word, that sense of being to flow with your breath. If you've chosen patience, allowing that to sit within you. In your mind's eye, imagine yourself being patient. Or whatever your intention is, imagine yourself with that sense of being. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Notice and let it go. Breathing in what you need. Take note of how this feels. How does your body feel right now? Cultivating the quality that you need. On your next inhale, breathing in what you need from the tips of your toes all the way up to the crown of your head. Nice big inhale. Nice soft and easy exhale. Few more times just like that. Your mind's eye drawing the breath from the tips of your toes all the way up to the crown of your head. Drawing attention to your body, noticing the sensations, noticing what's there. Are there any parts that are warm, cool, tight, soft? Just notice. Taking one more big breath from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head, drawing in that quality that you need. Take the space for you. Allowing that quality to settle within you. And know that it's there for you to tap into during the rest of your day and week ahead. When you're ready, you can slowly open up your eyes. You can come back to the room